is also the percentage for the GPA itself. So you can see for those who already have the number, you can see that it's increased in the GPA percentage itself. Yeah, so hopefully by when next week we are reviewing, or next 2 weeks, we can have all of the LC that is at least I have no longer 0%. And also for conversion rate, yeah, I want to shout out to TU and also UMMC that get 100% of conversion from apply, accept, approve, and also apply to approve. Yeah, and then for somewhere also, I think for somewhere is that you are still in the progress of converting, so that's why it's still 50 lah. And then for Herald, I think there is one reject. I mean, yeah, I think it's failed interview or like rejected, something like this, right? Yeah, so that's why that is the percentage is not 100 lah. So these are the things that you guys can take note or to also see like overall how is your own LC progress. All of this is inside the tracker itself. And also the process time. Yeah, I would say for TU the process time is very fast. Apply to accept only. Actually, why 0.1 is because they how to say they accept the applicants on the same day when they apply. So yeah, it's actually 0 day to process that. So after like to tweak a bit of the formula, that is 0.1, and then overall is very fast also now, 1.5 from apply to approve. And then for other LC, you can see as well, basically if your process time is more than 7, then it will become red color because it's a bit too long. Yeah, so I think you guys should be aware of the process time for apply to accept, like how many days you need to review them, within how many days you need to set up the acceptance notes, all those stuff. Yeah, if you are not sure or your team is not sure, make sure you let them to be aware of this, and also like all of this process time target is inside the SOP booklet. Yeah, so after I present about these 3 slides, right, and then I briefly also talk about the highlighted data that I would like to let you all to be aware of. So I would like you guys to actually think as well, what do you realize about NYV performance in general? Can someone actually share with me? After I share so much, I talk so much. Anything that you guys realize in general? Not only your LC, but in general. Okay, it's fine because later on you all need to think as well. But I hope you can think about these questions, and then yeah, you can go these 3 slides to actually see a bit of like what is the performance, and also what do you observe beside the things that I highlighted just now. Yeah, and then one thing I would like to show the reality to you all, okay, is that this is the GPA for Opera. So you guys have goal for each of the month, right? So this is the goal that you guys set for April itself. So the overall approval goal from all of the 15 LC and SU is actually 182. But then right now, we only managed to get okay. I think 5 is not the updated one, but I think okay. Let's assume here is how many. Yeah, 28, and then it's include this, it will be 29. I think it should be 29. Okay, so yeah, I need to change the formula. Yeah, it's very time consuming for me to change the formula. So after I change the formula, it will be 29. So yeah, even though like if we consider it's 29, right? So the gap itself is 150, around 150 for the gap of approval for all of the LC April itself. And then we still have 10 days left to end April. So we can take it as well. Is it possible or is it realistic for all of you to achieve 150 approval in just 10 days before April ended? Yeah, so if this goal is not like achieved, then you know what to do. You need to bring forward to May. So yeah, initially you only have 10 goals for May, then it will become 20 or 30 or 50, something like that. Yeah, so this is the things that I would like everyone to be aware of as well. Yeah. And then okay, so here come to a bit of the working space for everyone. So just now I talked about Okay, I asked you, all right, like what do you realize about employee performance? So later on, all of you will be break into breakout room. I think we have 3 to 4 rooms, depending on how many people inside here. So I hope you guys to discuss about this question. Like what do you realize about employee performance in general? It can be for your LC or other LC or anything. And also, what is the root cause for the performance? If performance, why is it performance? And not performing, why is it not performing? It can be your observation or your assumption. So if your observation, then yeah, it should be quite reliable, but then it is your assumption, then it is time for you to validate whether the assumption is correct or not after this phase, after your discussion or anything, to get the context. And also you can brainstorm as well what is the way forward for you, for all of us, not only for like the people that you discuss with us, but then for general, for everyone to really have the desired progress or like really improve on the performance of everyone. Yeah, so I think this will be the things that we can discuss in this working space itself. Okay, so are you all clear with what you need to do?
Yeah, it was. Yes, yes. Thank you for those for the people who click recording. Yeah, so I think before I start even the things, right, you might be wondering, am I in the wrong commission now? Because currently I'm handling PM commissions, right? Why am I here? So I think the questions I want to throw back to you all, maybe you all can give me tap in the chat as well. Wondering why am I here and what are the things that I want to do? Have a guess? Yeah, chill, chill. Any guesses? Why am I here? MYV to membership. Whoa, this is so operational. This is like to convert, is it? What do you mean? The MYV to membership, right? Membership issues by Angel. Yep. Anything else? So it's all about members, is it? Because I am from PM. Rose, my PA. Team management by money. Oh, hi money. Team leader, team member ratio. Okay. Hi. All right. Thanks everyone for your response. And of course, I'm here to show you how is our current membership in IGV is doing, right? That is why I'm here. And I'm not sure whether is your VPPM updated you, have synergy with you regarding on the entire how is IGV membership is doing. But if not, then this is a space for you to actually realize what are the things, how is your members perform? And also how satisfied are they currently in your LCs or even in your functions, okay, in IGV. And I think I have one question actually to ask you, right? So this is, imagine this is you, okay? You are the VP IGV, obviously, okay? Yes, you want to perform, okay? Yes, you want to perform, right? And the goal that I set for you is that you want to achieve 1,000 youth experience, which is, let's say, for example, 1,000 of the RE for your MYV, right? So the question I want to ask is that what scope you will actually look into, or even what are the scopes that you will take care to making sure that you are actually perform or even reaching this 1,000 of the youth experience. Also can let me know in the chat. Yeah, so I think just now this is actually the working space just now you guys had, right? So yeah, just give me the scope. Yes, what do you realize? The inferences that you have drawn just now. 1,000 you've experienced, easy, right? I think this is every LC goal, right? Yeah. Anyone? Yeah. DJ with a smiling face means that she also wish every LC is like this. Yes. Anyone? No one? Want to mention the scope? If not, I will review answer. EJPA, team standard. Yeah. It's all about people, right? The things that Mijay mentioned. Yep, so it's about actually these 3 scope. Wait, let me show you all the. Yes, so just now, I think when you all went into inferences, the things that you guys put down, I saw is more on like operation, also a bit of the people side, a bit of the financial side, right? And this is normally how you do inferences. And exactly, this is the part that we normally do as well, right? But for today, under my session part, I will mainly talk about people because yeah, I'm the people manager, right, of this entire LDD. That's why I'm talk more about people side. So in terms of people, maybe these are the few questions that you might ask yourself. How much our members have developed so far? by week 3 of April, by this week of April. You might answer or you might question about yourself about this. Second question you might question yourself is that, is our membership competent enough to execute our operation tasks? A third question you might question yourself is that, is our members satisfied their experience under your leadership? And last question you might question yourself is that, is our membership feel relevant in connecting the operation goal with their personal selfish goal? Yeah, so these are the potential questions, right? Or even possible questions that you might even ask yourself before you even generate the inference. Because at the end of the day, you can see, people operation finance are actually contributing to your product, right? And that's why when you think about people, maybe these are the questions that you might ask yourself. And come back to the current system that we have, right? Yes, I think that's the objective already, which is to introduce to you all again about what is PA score, R&D, all the way until PDP implementation. Okay, so the things that I mentioned just now, right? How much our members have developed. Actually, right, you can look into our PA score, the PA tracker, or even the productivities. These are the KPI that we normally as a people manager to measure on how much your members have developed. Because from our understanding, or even from the things that we normally track, PA score or even PA score is actually equal to the membership development. It means that if the PA score is higher, it means that your members has developed from the weekly progress or even from month to month. Okay. And second is about, we want to measure our members whether are they competent enough, right? That is why R&D implementation come into this picture, or even the PA score, because as I mentioned, if the members, PA score equal to membership development, right? So if the members well developed already, it also means that they are actually competent in driving and the MIV, in driving, securing your LPOP, stuff like that. Okay, this is second system that we have in order to measure how competent they are. Let's move on to the third one, which is, our members satisfied their experience under me. So you want to measure your membership satisfaction, right? That is why we have MXD implementation as well, or even what we call is the MX effectiveness, which is every month when we ask about the money engagement survey, right? We will measure on the entire MX evaluation to see how satisfied are they. And lastly, we want to also understand whether are they feel relevant enough. I think just now, I'm not sure, is in group 3 or group 2. I think when I go into the inferences, some of you mentioned is that your members are not really relevant, right? So this is the part that you can look more into, which is your PDP implementation. Whether have you implemented the PDP implementation, or even to taking care of their PDP score, so that, to ensure that their relevancy is actually being taken care of in IGV while they are actually executing IGV tasks. And I think a lot of time we also mentioned this, right? We engage and develop young people to create a better futures, or even we want to, build the leaderships. It's a fundamental solutions, right? And it can be developed in anyone and anywhere. So it's actually, the keyword is development. The keyword is more on satisfaction. It's more on to be a better version of themselves. This is the young people that we want to see, right? But imagine without this current PM system that we have, which is the things that I mentioned now, PA score, R&D implementation, MXC, PDP implementation, if without all of the systems that we have, right, how are we able to measure the development and satisfaction? Or even how are we measure these development as well? Because at the end of the day, as come back to the IZ, right, we also want to develop young people's. If without all the things, how are we able to develop? Yeah, so this is the part that actually currently VPPM is also struggling in about. And I think for now, I will also show you all the implementation currently that we have in IGV specifically. Okay, I think this is a bit exciting because you can see all of your LC score here actually. So you can see, right, so the entire PA score and even the entire PA implementation, I think let's focus on more on the PA implementation. So what do I mean by PA implementation? It means that whether is your people have updated the PA scoring, the PA setting, have updated the progress, have updated the actual versus the goal. Okay, so this is what we call PA implementation lah. So you can see, right, I think congratulate for those that has the king emoji, the crown emojis. And for those, I think in alarming stage, I think also need to take note, because it means that your peoples, even from your departments, you haven't implemented the PA implementation down to your team members. It means that they are actually not updating the PA trackers, and they are not updating anything from the PA score. Okay, so this is generally about PA implementation. Let's move on to the IG function implementation as well, right? So this is the score. I also get it from my PM data as well. So you can see actually quite a lot of people have yet to plan out the topics. Means that, when you want to educating your LP, sorry, not LP, when you want to educating your team members about, how to secure LP, stuff like that, right? The R&D topic is not yet planned out yet. And then looking at the current membership that we have, most of them currently are from new members, right? And that is why you can see it's actually quite alarming is that we haven't really implemented anything. We haven't really delivered any R&D down to our team members side. Yeah, so I think you can see a lot of red colors. You can see your LCs, and I think congratulations to Utah, UM, and GB as well for actually have implemented, have already planned out and deliver those R&D down to your team members already. Okay, moving on to MXP implementation. So this is more talking about the satisfactions, right? Just now I mentioned. So you also can see is that I think congratulations to UKM because they have already achieved 74.38% of the implementation, and the rest of the LC catch up. Okay, because you can see is that your team leaders, even you yourself as a VPs, right? You may not actually implemented the MXP implementation yet to down to the team members actually. So that is why the implementation is either 0 or even is lower than average. And lastly, talk about PDP implementation. I think this is the most alarming one you can see, right? It's red. So I think also would like to congratulate to UKM and also to TU as well, because I think they have actually implemented so far for the PDP. It also means that they have already carried out their first or even second O2O already to their team members, to their new members, and also ensure that the PDP setting, which is the SMART goal settings, right, is actually has already downstream, has already educated, has already set their selfish goal. Okay, yep. So this is I don't know, another reality slap for everyone here, right? You might think like, how I never realized this score is like this, or how why I never realized this. Yeah, that is why I think bring all these things and also communicate to your VPPM if your VPPM have yet to do so. Okay, but I think they should be the one to already communicate this already lah. And I think during synergy meeting, you guys can discuss more what problem inside in your entire implementation and how is the entire membership status in your IGV function. Okay, so I think back to the things I want to mention, right? So I think if I solely look into the implementation here, right? If I solely look into data that I presented just now, I actually have one direct assumption, which is my members were not having good experience in IGV. Because you can see actually a lot of the implementation have yet to implement actually. And then it's very hard for us to actually measure or even to actually we can see that our members are not enjoying it because solely looking at their data, right, is actually quite low. Is low relatively compared to the other function. So that is why I can say my members were not having good experience. Or even the second direct assumption, right, just now I also raised out a bit already, which is how could I understand whether my membership are being developed and that satisfied their experience or not? So I think back to the things that I mentioned just now, right? So the implementation is very shaky. Like the most foundation part is not able to build up yet. And how are we able to measure more in terms of their satisfaction, in terms of their entire competency, or in terms of their relevancy? It's very hard for us to do so because the most basic part, which is the implementation, is very hard for us to do already. So yeah, so this is the two direct assumption that I have. And I think you also kind of like, this is the pain that you have currently, right? And you also kind of like, what are the way forwards and how are you going to actually taking care, or even how you can boost out the implementation more, right? So that from your end, you're able to understand, well, how is the entire PDP implementation in an LC, how is the entire MXP implementation, and so on. So that's why I think I have prepared 5 tips for you all. I think these tips are actually quite useful because I think I actually was reflecting back when I was in VP as well, or when I was in director also. These are the good GCPs that I actually learned coming from my VPPN that time as well. So I think the first tips, right? I think every one of you have team meetings, right? Don't tell me you don't have team meeting. Every one of us, we have team meetings, right? And yeah, it's weekly team meetings. And every time when we team meetings, we will ask about the progress update, right? We ask about, whether have you done this, have you done lecture passion, for example, have you done auto? By the way, this is from OGV, okay? It may not relevant to your end. But my point here is that every meetings, we also got the progress check. So my tips is that you can actually extract or even embed the peer tracker down to your progress check session and directly use the peer tracker to generate inference already. For example, you can also see that, let's say you are from OGV, okay? So the target is that you're expecting your member to have 3 lecture batching actually, but then eventually this member only have 1. That's the reason that you want to find out, right? Like why this person is like this and stuff like that. And that is why you directly can able to get from this peer tracker, extract it, you screenshot, or you can copy whatever things down to your slides and ask them to generate inference or ask them to, why, what are the roadblocks they are facing, that maybe it's because of their capacity, it's because they're not really able to, have so much lecture batching in a week or stuff like that. Okay, so my point here is that just embed and utilize peer tracker for weekly operation progress updates. Okay. Okay, I think let's give me another 3 more minutes. I think second tips is that, make a routine in referring and understanding MXP standard before and after. So you can see, right, for MXP trackers, I think I would suggest you as a team leaders, right, or even you can also ask your directors to actually refer every MX standards here in MXP tracker before even designing a team meeting. Because I think for now, they are still new, right? Because your director just onboarded 1 month or 2 months only, and they might not able to see, or they might not able to think about what kind of the session or what kind of team meetings or how to carry out team meetings, stuff like that. So this is actually all of the answer, all of the guidelines are here already. They just need to refer actually. So the things that they need to refer is understand each of the MX standards, like, what are the things they should do before they even join the team meetings. And after the team meeting, they can come back and to update whether have they done this specific standard down to their team or not. Okay. And I think I have attached 2 resources here, right? And I think it's even better if you're able to read through what are the 16 standards that we have. It's very interesting, trust me, because yeah, if you understand about psychologies, if you are interested about psychology, this industry, or even these studies, you will directly find it very interesting. Yeah, because all of the 16 standards are according to the area that we want to focus. And at the end of the day, we just wish to build up a very good membership experience among our members through these MX standards. Okay. Yep. So this is my second tips, and third tips is plan the learning topic 1 month before. Okay, I think this is, every one of us, we are VPs, right? And I think we all submitting SONA to your LCP, right? Or even to the national side. And whenever we want to submit SONA, there's actually one question being asked, right? Is what is your focus? What are the next 1 month focuses? List down everything. And when you're listing down all of the focus, right, you can directly go into the L&D tracker to start to plan what should be the monthly L&D on the next month. For example, this month is May. I want to plan for June. And yeah, at the end of the May, I can, I submitting a SONA and I truly understand already, okay, June, I need to secure this. Okay, at June, I need to submit preparation audit, for example. And all these L&D actually can be planned out to see whether, to build our members in terms of like how they actually doing the preparation audit, for example, or how they actually secure the LP, OP, or SK. Yeah. So my point here is that when submitting SONA, you're able to understand already next month what will be the focus and directly go into the L&D tracker to plan accordingly. Okay, so this is the third tips for you to boost up your L&D implementation. And lastly, it's about, sorry, it's not the last tips. This is the 4th tips. Understand what competencies or topics to deliver according to timeline and customer flow. For example, you might not really understand, okay, in attraction, what should I implement? In consideration, what should I educate my people? You not really understand, right? You don't really clear about what should be the topic. So can go into the link that I attached here as well. So this is actually the model, the guideline that we have created coming from the PMASD's national team. And I think this is the part that I also have downstairs to all of my BVPM already. So I think all of them, they actually have aware about this. And I think back to your end, right, you also can look into, okay, so let's say, for example, during attraction, during consideration, during realization, project management, this is the competencies that you need to build up among your new members, because they will utilize this competency the most during this 3 period of the customer flow. Yeah, so whenever in the interaction period, you can think about whether do you want to implement, do you want to deliver project management L&D or not. Okay, and lastly, yes, which is more on the PDP part, right? So I think I also realized that a lot of people do O2O without implementing PDP. But let me tell you is that PDP is more, how to say, in O2O, right? it's more easy for you to implement PDPs in O2O. So let's say to embed your PDP implementation under O2O, right? And I think also can facilitating it according to your coaching style. It's not necessary for you to follow your previous team leaders. I know that it's sometimes a bit hard for you to follow it, even to imitate the previous team leader style, right? But I think for you to find your own coaching style, your own suitable coaching style in implementing the PDP, which is the SMART goal that we're mentioning here, or even a PDP score. And I think I also attached 2 resources here for you to better understand how you yourself able to, create, or even how you yourself able to prepare yourself before you joining a PDP, during the PDPs, during implementing PDPs, or even after you have done implementing PDPs, what are the things that you can do? Okay, so these tools are the resources. I really hope that you guys can refer lah. All right. And yes, that's come to my last part, right, after I talk about a lot of things. So I think you may be wondering, right, like, all these things actually should be VP PM job, or all these things should be under PM scopes, right? But let me tell you, this is not only for PM job. And yes, we are the one who guiding the entire membership developments, membership experience, membership competency, membership relevancy, all those things, right? But for you as a team leader's perspective, for you as standing as a head of the product as well, you are the one who guiding your team leader also, right? All these things are actually the responsibility standing as a team leaders. Because at the end of the day, as I mentioned just now, right, we want to develop young people. And these are the things that we also are developing our members actually. Okay, so don't ever think that this is just PM job, but wearing an EB hat to making sure that all these things are actually being implemented down in your department, so that you're able to drive your performance together with your people, with your well-built competence or good experience among your members to drive the 1,000 youth experience that I mentioned, right? And yes, because at the end of the day, we are one IGV products, right? No matter what, like no matter FL, BDs, or even PM, all of us, we are actually contributing to you, which is your IGV product actually. So yeah, this is my last message to everyone here is that let's grow our product, okay? Let's grow our IGV products by growing our people. Yes, this is the most simple way for you to actually to reach the MOS or to reach the KPI that you have mentioned just now. Okay, yep, so that is all for my end. Thank you everyone, and I hope that is insightful for you. And I think if you have any questions, right, I think you can feel free to type it down here, or even you can directly ask your VPPM, or if you think that you directly want to ask me, can as well, or you want to ask EJ also can. Okay, and please refer all the resources here, okay, because I think all these resources are already sent it to PM, and I think whether or not have you received, I think that's a part that you can still discuss with them, but I think this is just a a resource for you to understand better on how you actually can implement all these things down to your function. Okay, nice. And yes, that's all for my end, and I'll pass it back to EJ. And thank you for having me, IGV. Okay, I need to go back to my PM conversation now already. Yeah, thank you for having me. Yes, I think I pass it to EJ lah. Thanks everyone.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. Okay, thanks our MCVP PM OD lah. For the reality slap of like, yeah, you guys can see lah, your IGV membership currently is super alarming. If you don't want to have no manpower during realization, you better start your job right now, okay? Yeah, you can see already, okay? Make sure that you bring this back to your TLs as well, and you personally as a team leader, what you should focus in. Like for example, Calvin, never update PA. Okay, how long you have been in Isaac? I never update PA. I will slap you. Okay, and those LC are like actually didn't like update all those like PAs and didn't even do O2O. Okay, during the upcoming O2O, I will actually screw you. Okay, if you didn't complete your O2O, things like that. Okay, yeah, all right. So I think let's continue back to IGV from you, Fela.
Okay, yeah, so I just continue from just now. If you still remember, we have done a working space, right? Yeah, so the output of the working space, make sure you go through it and also really do the way forward itself. And then some of the reminder, yeah, the call to actions, remember to update your LC tab lah. For all those, I think you all know what you need to update already, right? So yeah, remember to update it. If not, I don't know what is the progress, and then yeah, and then everything is not updated, and then the dashboard also not updated. I will assume that you are not progressing how. Okay. And then secondly is OI synergy checklist. Remember to update. And then one thing is that yeah, some of the LC you all put all of your LR inside one column, but actually you need to separate them because you will have different kind of routine, and also you need to carry out the synergy differently. I mean separately for each of the LR, right? Yeah, so you can separate it into like different LC and then different cell, something like this. So you can insert the column itself. You can refer to how I think it's TU that do it, yeah, they also do it correctly lah. And then for your NC, UP, and JB, remember to update or you can update anything. Okay? Yeah, so I will keep track on this, and then I will take you out inside the group in update. And I'm thinking how to punish you all in next commission call if you all didn't update. Okay, so yeah, I can wait for the punishment. And then the next one is some of the R&R for all of the LC here, TU, UNC, Sunway, Hero, and also KP. Yeah, good job to you all. You have achieved like approval all those stuff. I think right now we have 9 approval from TU already. And then initially I want to put who will be the next LC, but I think yeah, you who want to be the next LC, right lah? You can, if you want, then you know what you need to do lah. Okay, all of the way forward itself. Whether you want to be the next LC is not or not is up to you, and also is within your control. Yeah, if you are the one that actually really do something to drive the movement, definitely you will become the next LC. Okay, yeah, I hope can have more and more the what do you call it, the R&R posts inside our podcast channel. And then yeah, so right now let's have a very short GCP sharing from the top 2 performer LC right now, which is I think you know who lah, okay? It's actually Yanbing and also Alicia lah. So I will pass the floor to Yanbing to actually share about some of the GCP lah, like how he get 9 approval right now and also 100% of conversion for apply to approve, and also very short but the process time. Yeah, so the floor is for Yanbing right now.
Okay, thanks Yufei for asking me to come share. So I just quickly share a bit lah. I think most importantly is synergy with synergy partners, especially OGV and FL lah. Actually, I'm very grateful for my TU OGV, which is Xingyi and her team lah, because very early on, like now they're already bringing 8 leads for us. So we just do our thing. So, and even UNMC OGV is also very prepared to send us leads. And then our own FL is ready with all the MyV agreements, also payment proof, invoice, everything is ready. So I think if you still haven't figured things out with your synergy partner, then just have a space with them, talk everything out, and hopefully things will start running. And secondly is team communication. So you yourself, I think we have to really know the SOP of how we want things to run for the MyV. And then only we will pass the message to our team and also communicate the goal with them. So for example, for me, I set process time goal of 2 days API APD with the team, and everyone is aware with it and everyone is contributing very hard to maintain it. Currently it's 1.5, hopefully it doesn't fall over 2 days. And lastly is, as the VP, I think I really have to send reminders to them, but not to the extent of micromanaging and in the end ruin their experience. It's just assisting and also helping them understand why they're doing what they do and give them some space and chance to shine, I think. So yeah, that's what I figure out for now. Thank you.
Nice. Yay, thank you very much for sharing. I think all of these are very nice and also very practical. Yeah, I think how to say, you don't have to think like something is you need to do something very big or how, but then if you have enough communication, whether it's with OGV and also CRG partners and also within your team, then that will be the one that should drive the performance for you. Yeah, good job, Yanbing. good to know that you have all this realization. Okay, yeah. So thank you, Yemi, for the sharing. And then let's have the next sharing for Alicia.
Okay, so yeah, this is some of the tips that I can share basically. So I think I was really lucky that I think OGV side really set an early synergy routine with us, and we sort of set expectation settings between ourselves, and we constantly ask questions. What's their timeline? And so this actually helps directors who aren't aware of like the MYV process to get a bigger picture. Where is the OGV timeline currently at? And what I do is that I try to keep track of my director C2A, let's say how far are they along in the project booklets, and help them check the MIV database. So I really go through with them on what they need to fill in and sort of go through the bottlenecks that they face. And yeah, I always utilize like the meeting space for like mostly on Q&A sessions, because I don't feel that sometimes if I talk too much, they will be very overwhelmed. So I usually have more Q&A spaces, so for the directors to ask questions about the MYV process and why is it important. And so this builds a open culture, and yeah, this I think makes us very transparent with one another and builds trust. And yeah, I think one more is actually one of my directors, she had a good experience in how to convert APL to APD quite quickly. So she shared some of her GCPs to other project directors who haven't had experience on this. And so they could sort of copy what she was doing. And yeah, and finally, yeah, basically set a good working culture. I think this doesn't revolve just around MYV, but it's also revolves around other KPIs as well. And yeah, I really have to thank all my project directors, because they are really proactive and they ask questions a lot. And so that helps make my job easier to understand which are the main pinpoints that I have to address during the team meeting space. So yeah, that's some of my GCP sharing.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Alicia. Nice. Okay, yeah. So I think just now what Alicia shared is about set a good working culture. I think personally for me, with speaking of my past experience as a VP in OGV, I think yeah, just like Alicia, she also shared with me just now in Telegram, she's very thankful for her director is very accountable to stuff. So this is also like one she is thankful for that and then they are able to help them to drive help the whole LC to drive the performance. And yeah, I think this is also something that is very important. Like you will be as a VP, you will be the one that actually set the working culture or even the team culture for your team. So if you want the team to be accountable, you want them to be proactive, you want to shape this kind of quality in them. So you can be the one. Even though right now they don't have, but you will be the one that should shape it in them. So it takes time, but you can think about what kind of team that you want to have, what kind of director you want to have, and then start to actually build them to become the one that you want, like someone that is accountable, someone that is proactive. So it can actually help you to drive the team all those stuff. So this is the things that you can work on to drive the people to help you to drive the company. Because right now you are not the one that actually do the groundwork already. Yeah, and yeah, I hope you guys can see something, some similarities from the sharing from both Yipi and also Alicia. I think it's a very good sharing, and I think they also learn a lot from this process as well. So hopefully this sharing is like helpful for other LC. And then if you need more clarification or you want to know more about how they actually manage to do all this with their synergy partner or anything for team management, all those stuff, you still can you can continue the conversation with them, like just text them, Telegram, all those stuff. Yeah, don't just keep everything here, but then bring forward to later on. Yeah, okay. Don't let the conversation to stop here. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much, Alicia and Yemi for the sharing. They actually sent me a very long text, like yeah, a super long text, a message, and then share with me all of the things, and then I feel very happy. Yeah, and then in the future, if there is more chance, then we can have more sharing for everyone as well. Okay, nice. So the next part we will go into another topic, which is IR management, which is IYE. So yeah, the first thing, basically here you just want to get some progress understanding for everyone about IR management. So these are the questions that I hope after this commission call, I don't think we have time to update right now, but then after this commission call, before the deadline, 24th, all of you can actually update like have you kids that IR management? If yes, how is the progress so far? And then if no, what is the reason of haven't started yet? And also, do you face any bottleneck? Even no whether you start or haven't started, or do you face any bottlenecks? And also, what is the bottleneck that you face that? So, if there is, if there is any, and also what is your way forward for the bottleneck or even the support needed? So you can actually put down very clearly. So I can go through it later on and also understand a bit how is the management of IR progress in your LC and also what kind of support that you will need. Okay, and then this is the first part that I would like everyone to update. So later on, if you face any difficulty in update, you don't understand what to update or how to update, you can just ask inside the group. And then this, so for IR management, right, no matter what is your progress right now, you can refer to this booklet as a guide for you to manage IR. And currently, you should start to engage with IR already. Set schedule a short call to get to know each other and also understand what is their focus, what etc. Yeah. And then if you have any question about IR management, you can also contact me. But before you contact me, remember to go through the booklet first, because the booklet will actually let you know what you need to do. The rough idea is okay. But then if you have anything, you can just contact me or even ask inside the group. So your question might be other questions as well. And then the second part is about international youth engagement, which is IYE for short. So if you are not sure what is IYE or you need more understanding on IYE, so you can also refer this booklet for you to understand more about IYE, basically this initiative. But basically what I can say is one of the KA for all of the IGV project to provide a space for IYE to engage with international youth. And then for this to happen, you actually need to have your IR partners to inform something like this. So that's why it's also the purpose why we have IR management for everyone. Okay, all these things you can refer to this booklet for more understanding. And then just to let everyone know, currently I'm planning for national IYE. So the proposed date will be 7 to 20 of August 2022. This range, it will be only one day, and so not the entire whole day, maybe just 2 to 3 hours events like that. But then it will be within this period. This is the current plan. And then why this timeline is because we will have batch 2 LC that will realize that during this time, which are all of the LC here, most of the LC are basically. So why are we having national IYE is to have better resources management. We can have save on the manpower itself. You can have like if you have like one IYE and IYE, right? So no need to have all of the MC to do their own IYE. So yeah, you can have better manpower allocation for you to run other KA more effectively. And also IR partners, we can gather all the IR partners together in one event itself. So we can involve more IR partners as well. And also higher impact to NYB, they can also like engage with more youth, and also we can have more I would say a different kind of initiative inside the IYE itself, where we have more partners doing. And also how this will happen. So LC will evolve as the OCIR and also other OC roles. So more detail will be updated soon. I think it's latest by next commission call. And then EST, which is me, will be the coordinator and also the OCT to manage the OCT. So basically, it will have an OCT, right? And then all of you will be the OCR, and also I will be the coordinator to coordinate everything. So right now I would like to send some whether you guys are interested to join in an IYE. So if you like to involve in IYE, which means you will let your IYE to join in national IYE itself, you do not have to conduct your own IYE in your national level. Yeah, and also for batch 1 LC, we will realize that UNSC, UM, and also Harry want to see you because the timeline is not aligned. And then currently I don't have capacity to run two national IYE, so you will consider to have cross LC collaboration as well. So which means that for all these LC, the four LC to have to collaborate together to conduct one IYE. And then if you want to consider about this, so I will see like how I can support you all as well for this cross LC collaboration. So yeah, what I want is that I'll tell them whether you have the interest to involve in an IYE by 24th of Sunday. So this is actually the slide for you. Just review in this slide basically. Are you interested to join an IYE for the batch 2 realization LC and also have collaboration cross LC IYE for batch 1 realization LC. Yeah. So if for UMSC, right, because you have two timelines, two different timelines, so you can update as well for batch 1 and so batch 2. You want to have whether you want to join national one and so cross LC or not. And then if you don't want, then you can put down as well like why you don't want, right? You want to have your own LC one or anything, then you can put down the reason. And also any doubts, any question, any concern that you have in mind regarding an IYE, you can also put down all of the questions that you have, so I can also consider all the things where I'm doing planning and also maybe to have like downscale about the IYE, I can consider all the things. So yeah, so I think that will be the part that I would like to everyone to understand. So yeah, all the slide is here. And then lastly is about OI synergy R&D output. Last week the synergy R&D that we have, right? So you can click into this slide. They will have the slide and also the recording link, which you can actually go through or refer in the future. Yeah, so that will be all for me for this week. So any questions so far that you have regarding all of the things like your call to action, the things that you need to update. Yeah, so for IR management and also IYE, right? Yeah, the booklet is already there. So I believe as CVP, you guys are mature enough to go through the resources yourself. So you can go through the resources and so read through the booklet yourself first. And if you really cannot understand or you have any questions, then you ask. Okay. Yeah, the resource of the resources is already prepared. If you don't have a question, you can give me a wave so we can proceed to our chat out and feedback on those stuff. Okay, but you have any question, feel free to always ask me inside VP group or anything. Okay, yeah, so I will pass to Ijela because it's already
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Yufei. Yeah, I think you guys can also appreciate the EST have prepared like all these like updates and everyone for everyone of you in the working space. Yeah. Okay, so I think we won't be having like short R&Ds about like team, how to manage your team, because yeah, you guys are quite slow in responding all those things, so we are keep on waiting all those things updates. So make sure that you guys keep on responding. If not, we will just continue to wait you to respond and then waste for time lah. Okay, so let me share back the screen. Okay, yeah. So I think just a short announcement. Next week we will have our commission call instead of like no, because there will be a replacement of our commission call which falls under the Hari Raya, which is 4th of Wednesday. So the 4th of Wednesday we will be cancelled off that time because yeah, you guys can celebrate like Raya celebration okay. We are one Malaysia, right? So yeah, you can celebrate even though maybe it's not your New Year, yeah, but I can also enjoy New Year that time. Okay, yeah, so we will just replace it. So I will send over the calendar again, so make sure you attend because right now it's attraction peak. There are a lot of things that you guys can see now. We are not progressing things like that, so we want to work on like firefighting things like that. Doctor Strange premiere on 4th May can go watch now. Then got Concorde cancel. Good job, Yan Bin. Yeah, I know you bought for the ticket, but I don't want to join Concorde already, right? Yeah, now I know your intention why you send this message. Okay, yeah. Yeah, also give you a chance, right? It's a holiday. Go and watch Doctor Strange, okay? All right. So just a reminder for every one of you lah. So I think that's it for today. So I think you guys can come in to here to put down the feedback and harvesting your learning before we end. Yeah. So